early death of Ivy turned into a comprehensive Spark win. If you're a good team and you can maintain those snowballs, you can actually rip through a control point like that. That was excellently done by the Spark.
Yeah. Luckily for Toronto Defiant, that's just one round on their control map. They can come back and try to tie this up. And I think if you're Toronto Defiant too, you've got a pretty easy thing to target as far as like what you need to improve for the next round. You got to make sure that Ivy either A, improves his positioning a little bit, or B, you're ready to heal that guy, because it seems like Spark is kind of tunneling on him a bit more than usual.
Yeah, the thing about Ivy, though, is as excellent as he is mechanically, he makes questionable decisions at times. All right, so they're scouting right now with the Sombra. They're going to see the Rhyme 3-3, and then they're going to go back and switch to it. So just a chance there to see what the Defiant were going to run, and if they could play the Sombra in the far. They decide the answer is no. Get it back in plenty of time here before the point unlocks.
And they're going to run in on the low ground, too. That's going to allow them to sit on the point as it unlocks and force the Defiant to come to them. So I kind of like this start by Spark. Kind of taking point, Here we go, Yakpan diving in. They're getting really aggressive. Ooh, Toronto. Just all over Spark, and Bezzy can't stay alive. There goes Godsby as well. So I think Spark just kind of got caught off guard there.
They definitely did, but Defiant had a long time to set up a pincer attack on the high ground.
Yeah.
Spark just ran in, and because Toronto Defiant can move around on the top of the roof of the point, they get an advantage. So Spark do pay for the time that they spent swapping off that composition.
Yeah, so now you're on the outside looking in if you're Hangzhou Spark. A little bit of time to build up some ultimates. Only 20% for Defiant so far, but they are going to have a little bit of an ult advantage here.
Yeah, they're going to try and push the high ground this time. Guxue super low.
Would have died without that Zarya shield.
Nice shatter.
Yeah, good use of taking advantage of Guxue going off the edge to try to live here. They got the shatter. That got them the kill onto Godsby, and Toronto looking much better here on round number 2. Got to keep Yakpung alive. They can't do it, though, but it's enough kills for Defiant to stay in control.
Yeah, Yakpung right there, he saw that the Zarya bubble went on to Guxue as well when he got low, so that means there's not really a lot of defensive options for the shatter coming in.
Yeah.
Lands the big shatter. Spark still on the outside here. 50% already built up to the Defiant, who have bounced back very nicely from Shrine.
Defiant has the bigger bang combo, right? They've got the Graviton Surge self-destruct combo online.
IDK also very far away from a sound barrier right now.
Yeah, very true. Ivy doing what he can damage-wise. It's going to be rallies coming in. Ivy, walk forward. Thought he was going to maybe grab here. They're going to go with the trance. There's a nice counter shatter coming out from Guxue as everyone was in the grab on his team. That's going to give him another fighting chance to turn this one around. Envy throws the mech out. Oh, Bezzy barely lives. Gets his shield up in time, but he's still low health. But there goes Yakpung and Stellar. So when the dust clears, as it begins to settle, Spark taking the lead in this fight, and it looks like they're going to be able to flip the point. 90% though for Defiant.
Wow, week to week, Guxue looks so much better integrated into this roster. That was a fantastic counter shatter when they didn't have a sound barrier, and now it's allowed Godsby and IDK to build up their ultimates, and they should be able to hold this for quite some time as Toronto truly depleted after that last fight.
Yeah, I mean, even Bebe halfway through to his next Transcendence. That puts him ahead of Neko in the Zenyatta ultimate economy there. Good position for Spark. Godsby just decides to go for the grab. Why not? Ooh, Guxue down, though. They're going to need to win this fast, but unfortunately for them, Defiant has that sound barrier. They could turn this one around. Guxue, he nearly got blown up a couple fights ago, and this time around, Toronto is ready. There's the grab. Ooh, I don't know. Okay. All right, they're going to turn into a few more kills, and that's a clean sweep for Defiant on that one.
Easy win after Gushue's isolated. Then they hit the shatter onto Bebe, so he can't trance, and that's just going to be it.
Yeah. So as dominant as round number 1 was for the Spark, nearly as dominant, 100 to 36, not quite 100 to 0, but it was still a great round for the Defiant, and I think they did adapt. I think they did kind of respond to the issues they had in the first round.
I think the problem there was that IDK didn't use the sound barrier fast enough, because you knew that they had used their Graviton and their self-destruct on the previous fight. So you can afford to be aggressive with your sound barrier. And if Guxue had that, he wouldn't have died.
Yeah.
They probably could have at least taken a fight right there, but...
Well, it did kind of strike me, too, that there were a couple fights earlier where Guxue, nearly died and then just barely got out. So I think Defiant knew if they found just the right moment, they'd be able to blow him up before Spark could respond, and that's eventually what got the final flip in the end. And Neko is still not changed his spray, still
He's
using
never
the
gonna
Boston
change it.
one. I don't think there's anything accidental about this, guys. Yakpung going in, it's valid for the Winston zone. Yakpung gets pooped off. He used his jump to get there, and IDK Really nice move. Oh, and he gets one on Roki as well. Wow. IDK.
I mean, they're just resetting. Like, what can you do?
What a great heads-up play by IDK, though. You know a lot of Winstons are going to jump over there. You let him do that, and then you just poop him off. That was great.
One team has the Lucio there. One team does not.
Yep.
They know Yakpung's tendencies. They're able to really adjust to it there. But
like it.
Because they reset so quickly, there's not a lot. I mean...
Oh, he knew. He knew.
Yakpung blind jumps in.
Yep.
Farewell.
See ya. Man, it doesn't get much easier than that. That was just a great play. And
Roki late to the party.
Yep.
It's not good for a DJ to be late to the party, but...
No, it's not. The party, some say, cannot start until the DJ is there. I say it starts whenever I get there. Rhea, demeched. All right, so it's going to be Defiant just muscling their way into the point and flipping it back for themselves.
Yeah, Spark not willing to take that risk right now. Rhea almost already remeched, so they have another push. Be careful about Ivy's Graviton Surge. Godsby still working his way up to his own.
Yeah.
But the sound barrier is going to be there alongside the Transcendence for the Spark, so plenty of defensive options. They're giving up a lot of percent on this point while they try and charge their ults.
Yeah, will it be worth it? We'll find out. Ivy fully charged himself. He goes in with the grab. Can they get anything with the combo? Maybe sound barrier down in time for Spark. So they've got a chance to push back on this one. They're going to grab themselves, and that's going to let them get a lot of time in terms of just flipping the point, too. Ooh, IDK gets a nice boop onto Envy. When you see the death of that order for the Diva, that usually means it was just knocked off the edge. There goes Bezzy as well. So, in the end, Toronto Defiant maintaining control on the point. For the moment, anyway. Yakpung getting low, but he still has that Primal Rage. Can't really get out of there.
Oh, he's trying to get in right now, but Godsby is mega charged on that point and has positional advantage. So Yakpung not exactly going to live very long. They get a D-Mech onto Rhea, though. Godsby going to come and finish off the mech on the other side.
To Toronto's credit, they're doing a good job of gaining percentage here. They haven't given it up yet.
Nope,
they may not.
They haven't.
They're still trying to keep it. Hangzhou Spark has not been able to take it away. They're so close, and now they finally will flip it, I think.
Yeah, that was a long time. You get about 25, 30 extra percent if you're the Toronto Defiant. Well fought.
That was good. It's good for Toronto.
Godsby and Ivy now going to be here with matching Graviton Surges on the next push to mirror the matching Transcendences they both have. Difference is Spark has control over the choke. Makes it a lot easier to fight.
Yep, that's true. Lucio may be the DJ, but Zenyatta brings the trance to these parties. Ivy a little bit low. He's in the grab. No kills out of that one. Oh, I thought someone nearly was pooped off there. Bezzy, though, not so lucky. As Yakpung, with a bit of help from his friends, manages to get a kill for Toronto Defiant as they charge back onto the point here. Hangzhou Spark pushed away. They've lost their Zenyatta as well. How long can they hold on to this one? Looking like less and less as Godsby it's down. Whoa, IDK comes in with the double boop, though.
I mean,
not going to be enough.
If you can get out or stay alive, it might be worth. Nope, not going to be. No. So now they're going to be in a tough situation. Point is going to flip here. Spark will be able to get most people back for another engagement. Lucio, Roki has to go back to taxi the Brigitte and the Zarya to the point.
There's a lot of ultimates for Hangzhou Spark as well.
Yeah, a lot of survival ults as well. Rally, Primal Rage, ways to delay this point.
Toronto just sending in the self-destruct, just trying to delay Spark from getting started here. Gushue. Oh, we got the knockoff onto Bezzy, or onto Neko, rather. Bezzy gets knocked off by Roki. It's a battle of the Primal Rages here. Hangzhou Spark losing a few people already. Yakpung keeping Toronto in the lead, but here comes Gushue. It's back again. Who nearly got knocked off yet again, but he's going to be able to stay on this. And I don't know. Now Toronto doesn't look like they're going to give this one up.
They got a Hammond coming back right now, so it is going to be low. Envy is going to be team-backed, so we'll see if they can get through this. There's not a lot of damage right now on the point for Toronto, but they're going to do it.
Yep, that's right. So Toronto Defiant coming back after losing that first round. They get 2 in a row, and they will take Nepal.
Yeah, very convincing for the Defiant. Had a rough time, too, after getting picked off Yakpung at the start of that point, but they rally themselves and make the plays to take the map 2-1.
Map number 2 can up. We'll see if Spark can tie things.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, Toronto Defiant, with a lead in this series after a hard-fought win on Nepal. Obviously, Spark with a lot of opportunities, a lot of talent to come back with, but I gotta say, Defiant looking pretty convincing towards the end of that one as far as just being a little bit more tight with their engages, right? Spark, you know, they survive on the brawl. They were molded by the scrappiness, right? But Toronto's trying to play it a bit more clean-cut, you know?
Yeah, and I do think also Bezzy here, we've seen him sort of rotating on that position of the Brigitte with Adora. He's going to be back in this time. Not really sold on the quality of his Brigitte play in particular. So keep an eye on him and whether Adora comes in. But Bezzy will be here for King's Row.
That's right, moving towards our hybrid map in this series. I do have to agree, though, that despite the loss on Nepal, Gushui is looking better than ever on this team, and we knew what an enormous talent he was individually coming into this one, and it looks like a lot of the communication woes that they had before have been largely solved.
Okay, so quick sonic arrow, so they know where a few of the members of the Spark are. They immediately relocate to the low ground. It will be Sombra from Envy.
True enough.
So no Diva here. We'll see if they can make some plays with it. Envy already on the flank. Going to be trying to deal with this. Ooh, nice check there.
Dodge the beam. Oh, he's like one of those spies in like one of those movies, dodging through the lasers. Unfortunately, Roki not so agile.
Roki is not one of those spies dodging through the lasers.
He's the guy that trips the laser immediately and blows up.
And then gets the guy who was dodging the lasers arrested or killed.
It's definitely like a Mr. Bean scenario there or something.
Envy, though, 45% of the way to the grab. Long flank now to the upper hallway, so taking the big route towards the back.
Yeah.
And looks like they will be rotating to Hotel. So there you go. Envy on the flank right there. Does translocate.
Coming in quick. Toronto trying to take the point. We'll see. Again, Gushui's shield getting really low right now. And he doesn't have an Earth Shatter to defend himself yet. He will after this Fire Strike. Maybe. No, didn't connect with enough people. One tick taken by the Defiant already. As they try to get aggressive on some of the lower health members of Spark. There's the Transcendence now. Use Graviton Surge. Yakpung laid low. Ooh, stays alive barely. Roki comes back for a bit of revenge on the IDK. Yakpung is down though. So maybe with the EMP, Spark has been scattered enough for Toronto to claim the point. They only need that final tick to get the payload moving. And it looks like they're going to be able to grind it out. Gushui, the hack, not quite coming through, but Godspeed dies behind him. So that will be finally Toronto taking the point, able to get it in that extensive brawl.
Yeah, and Hangzhou, they decided they weren't going to fight that. Godspeed had a Graviton Surge, did not use it as the fight closed. Say, we'll fight the next one instead. We know Defiant, you use absolutely everything on that push, so we should be able to fight here at the choke. Sorry, Boston.
No, totally accidental, guys. He's totally meant to change that spray. Just purely a slip of the mind. That, you know, he fat fingered those buttons. He put sorry, Boston. I'm sure that was an accident. You know? Happens to everybody, you know.
All right, so next fight getting set up right here on the corner. Excellent place for the Spark to fight. Envy is behind them currently, charging up again. Graviton's going to come.
Now they're in the grab. That's right. Here comes the self-destruct. Sound Barrier's out, but it's not enough to save Stellar and Roki. Ivy had already fallen first. And so Spark will stop the payload for a bit.
They do. Nice hold there. Still 3 ultimates as well for Hangzhou. Notice that they kept the ultimates that are going to be key. Well, actually, Ivy actually used the grab at the end of that last fight.
Yeah,
so
it was not a good fight for Ivy there.
Yeah, it's going to be a bonus now for the Spark to have 2 defensive ultimates.
Yep.
Should be a nice long hold here if they don't get EMP'd, which they do, but there is, of course, going to be that Transcendence.
As usual, the EMP hits everybody except for the supports. So Bebe able to transcend, does go down right afterwards. IDK still has its Sound Barrier, not going to use it though. They are going to lose the fight instead. So biding their time, going to give that payload a bit more room to push.
The issue there was the idea was fine from the Spark, but Bezzy got picked off so quickly that they couldn't just rush over with the ulting Zenyatta to get the trance healing onto him in time.
Something you need to be careful with Zenyatta. You are literally invulnerable for a while, but you need to make sure when that thing wears off that you're in a place where you're not going to get blown up immediately.
Indeed.
Not that that ever happens to me when I play Zenyatta, but, you know, I see it happen to other people.
To less skilled players.
I want to let them know. Exactly. To Overwatch League caliber, you know. I'm the best Zenyatta in the world. It's proven fact. Here we go. Rallies on both sides. Gushui drops a big shatter. Goes for the charge. Takes Yakpung right out of it. Bebe with a final blow there. There goes Stellar as well. So Spark winning a big one at the end of B.
Yeah, just with a rally and a shatter too. Gushui predicts the shield. Going to be dropping right there. Manages to get the charge onto the discorded target. So instant death for Yakpung. And Envy still not at another EMP yet.
Huh.
Interesting. So didn't get the EMP out of that fight. Still
got it.
lurking in the back, but they know that. They're looking for Envy right now.
Yeah. It's an Envy hunt. Defiant pushing back in again. Envy will have the transfer. Oh, that's a good aggressive graviton from Spark. Let's see if they get anything with the self-destruct. They get Yakpung. His shield removed just before it came down, and that's going to be Toronto regrouping again.
And they could do that because they had already chunked out Envy in the back. So they knew where Envy was.
Right.
You can play with that graviton for free because they don't have a diva. So why not be aggressive with it?
Yeah. Nothing's stopping you, literally.
Heading back to the high ground right now. Envy is pushed deep into point C. Still attempting to find that angle, but the supports of the Spark have been great at trying to find him in the back line.
Oh, Shatter comes in, and again, Spark knows they've got the 6v5 with Envy all the way back there. They can be super aggro on this. They're going to try. Transcendence comes in now for Spark. There's the EMP, and maybe Toronto now can turn this one around. They can. So Spark playing themselves a bit. They got aggressive, but they weren't able to win the fight fast enough. Envy got there, EMP'd, and that was it.
Yeah, but I like the idea behind that for the Spark because your other choice is just sit there and get EMP'd. And at the very least, you know, they got some of the ults from the Toronto. Defiant didn't get the support ults that they wanted, had to commit 2 of their own. So they are going to have a little bit of a trouble here in C.
Yeah. I agree, though, that wasn't the wrong move. You're going to want to fight that 6v5 while you can, you know?
Yeah, Toronto catching wise to it, though. They saw it the first time. That time they backed off a lot better.
Trying to come in again.
Godsby needs this grab right now.
Might be a little bit on the low side. High ground for Envy. Getting the hacks from on high. Godsby. That's right. Grabs coming in for both teams. Double grab. Who's going to survive it? Gushui really low, and Ivy finishes him off. Got that charge, and they weren't able to quite get the healing in onto Gushui. Now the Transcendence comes out. Bebe keeping his team up while they tried to finish off more members of Toronto Defiant. Both right outside of commission. There's
another EMP. Devastating from Envy.
He's been really good about saving
nice.
those. Yeah. If you notice, both times in the last 2 fights, he's used the EMP after the Transcendence is gone too, which is always a good decision if you can make it.
Yeah, didn't have much of a choice in the first fight. That one, though, his patience was rewarded, and now the Defiant pushing here into point C. Spark have a self-destruct, so they can push them off the payload if they want to engage with it.
Sure enough. Here we go. Shui needs to find that big shatter. Toronto Defiant tried to go for the stun on him, didn't land it. Backing off for a moment here. It's going to be the Graviton Surge now for Toronto. Self-destruct's coming in. Gushui low again. Godsby also in trouble. IDK knocked down. They're going to finish him off, but Yakpung fell first. There's Gushui in a lot of trouble. He's got people behind him. Zarya shield comes in just in time. Shatter doesn't need anybody, though. That payload, you got to get there. Oh, that was so close. Godsby nearly let that one go through, but Ivy's coming in with the kills anyway. Sound barrier on the remaining members. That's going to be a bit of a delay, but no, the EMP clears it right off.
Trance is there, though. They couldn't get it off, but that's going to be it.
Yep. Not a lot of damage to get the kills for Spark they needed it. That will be Toronto Defiant finishing their attack run. Bit of time left in the time bank, I believe.
Yeah, that's important too. Having that extra time around 30 seconds will be the number for the Defiant.
That's right. Spark on the attack when we come back. 30 seconds in the time bank for Toronto Defiant. They got the job done on their attack with a little bit of time to spare. Now it's up to Hangzhou Spark to see if they can equalize or even do better. And King's Row is one of those maps that we have seen some extremely quick takes on. So Spark, if they got it together on this attack, should be able to do it.
Yeah, Envy gonna stay onto the Sombra right now. Besides that real one attack, they're looking pretty good on the Sombra overall. Has been able to be effective with the EMP. And the rest of the team sort of wise to the pushes, too, that Hangzhou is attempting to speed boost into them. So if they disengage, they can still find good EMP opportunities. And there you go. There's something wacky for you.
Composition.
Love it. This is what I was hoping to see from the Spark today.
Quad DPS with the Mercy on the healing. Hammond. There's a Sonic Arrow from Bebe. Trying to set things up here. A little bit of time on the point already from Gushue.
So double sniper is a very classic strategy here on King's Row attack because of the long sight lines and the crossfire you can set up. But they've actually added to it by having the Pharah and the Soldier 76 here as well.
Right. Soldier puts down a lot of covering fire, can keep himself healed up, heal some teammates once in a while too. So just a lot of damage coming from a lot of different directions right now. And this 3-3, overall is fairly low healing if the ultimates aren't included. Yakpong a little bit low. Benzi tries to escape here, and he can't. Ivy gets him with the right click. So 1 DPS down now.
Yeah, you can't let that Zarya through a door right there. That's going to be an oversight on the part of the Hangzhou Spark. You got to make sure you get those eliminations. There you go. Envy being down will allow them to retake the point slowly here as Hammond returns.
Yeah, it generally isn't super quick. But it's something where you can just kind of grind through the 3-3. Yakpong does get Rhea, though.
With a fire strike?
I was going to say, Rhea must have been chasing him. I think he must have gotten low and trying to finish him off. As he down as well, Ivy gets another kill here. And there's a barrage. All right, 2 from Godsby. Gets taken out by Stellar. I don't know if that's enough for Hangzhou. I don't think it is.
I mean, the problem with this composition is that you can't actually have presence on the point, right? Because you're just trying to zone people out. So the point capture is going to be a slow process, much slower than Hangzhou would have wanted.
So you get kills because you need those overwhelming numbers. Now Envy comes back in with the EMP. Bebe out of commission. And Rhea in trouble too here. On that Soldier 76 gets chased down by Stellar as well. So this is not working for Hangzhou Spark. If you're going to make a change, it needs to be now. Might even be too late.
No,
already.
I think they're not going to make the change, Doa, because Roki's not going to be here for the start of this next engagement, so there's an opportunity.
He's back now.
Oh,
Bezzy. That's the kind of shots they were looking for earlier.
Now you can do it.
Yeah. Envy taken out by the Helix rocket from Rhea, too, so things finally starting to fire here for Hangzhou Spark. There's a minefield just zoning out the rest of the members. That should be point A. Yeah. Took them a while, but they got the job done.
But here's the problem, Doa, is that you didn't take it fast enough.
Yep.
Now you don't have a lot of time on the clock. You're going to get some exit kills, but all Toronto Defiant had to use was going to be that EMP for the fight, right? They're going to be coming up on 5 volts soon. EMP doesn't take that long to charge. So it's going to be a rough one here for the Hangzhou Spark as they head through the streets phase.
Yeah, Toronto well equipped to get this defense going. Spark's sticking with it, though. It's been a long time since we've seen a successful attack visor from a Soldier player. Might be fun. Oh, that grab! No, didn't really get anybody. Rhea taken out, but not because of the Ivy's ultimate. Yakpong down. Bebe finds one. Looks like Roki's in a lot of trouble. He's going to spend a lot of time in that cafe because he's dead.
Oh, boy. And they're going to start to come in right now.
Yep.
They're awfully close to Ivy right there, but they need to get some more eliminations. And they're not going to get an Ivy again with a massive kill.
Oh, Toronto just kind of getting the kills slowly but surely here. And the best part for them is that they've only had to use that grab. Hello.
Yeah, this is disastrous. Like, they have to switch now. You can see the barrage is being used in the corridor.
Goodbye ult economy.
Yeah, goodbye ult economy. And this is the trick, right? You don't get it fast enough. You reset your own ult economy. Toronto now can just sort of use theirs one by one by one. So will be very difficult for Hangzhou to push through point B.
Yeah, so if you're Spark right now, okay, first you get EMP'd, then you lose Gushui. Things aren't great, but how can you draw more ultimates out of them? That's the question. You're not going to get any more in this fight, that's for sure.
You can't. I mean, they know they know you have nothing,
Yeah.
right? So there's no need to invest anything more. You just go ahead and hack the baby demon. Well, they got some charge out of it, I guess. That's a slight bonus.
They put the Zarya shield on him. Get Godspeed a little bit of charge on the Zarya. You know, I'm sure Diva doesn't appreciate that as much as that. Am I only charge farm to you?
Yes.
The answer is yes. Yeah, and you are actually at this point.
And so here we go, out the gates again. Defiant not going to be spawn camping them, even though they definitely could right now. It's a choice that they could make. Yakpung, he wants the drop down. He wants them to drop down because they see him.
Oh, that's right. He was hoping they would drop down and he could shatter him from behind. Didn't end up working out. Gets stunned. Ooh, went below 100 health there, but it's Benzi the one who falls first in that fight on the Spark side. Uh-oh. Envy down as well. Doesn't have the EMP anyway, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. They did break through Gushui's barrier as well.
I mean, it might be a big deal because Envy going down means they may have to commit more ults into this fight because they will be short-handed by a player.
I mean, you can just let them get some distance with the payload here,
Sure.
too.
I mean, there's only 60 seconds left. Spark are coming up on their first batch of ultimates. Defiant have really only used EMP and Rally.
I think this
has been excellent discipline from the Defiant.
Yeah. This is them playing exactly like they said they want to play. It's looking good. Very safe, very measured. There's the grab. Counter grab comes in from Spark. And anything? Nope. All right, Transcendences come out. There's the rallies. There's the EMP from Ali. Oh, and that's a big shatter on the back of that one. EMP into Earth Shatter, and that's a clean team fight win for Toronto Defiant. Less than 30 seconds remain for Spark.
And now they're just going to try and get him as they come into spawn. Make sure Rhea gets demexed.
Oh, that's rough.
It's very, very rough indeed. They don't have time to wait around for this one. The Spark have to move.
Yeah. Rhea just respawning now. But he's going to have to really rush.
They need to get somebody there.
They got to get someone to the payload. I think they will.
IDK got there.
Ooh, he got there, but he paid for it with his life. And now, without that sound barrier, I don't know how Spark is going to take this one. They lose Gushui. Sound barrier for Toronto Defiant. It's insult injury. But look at that. Rhea pushing the payload.
Doesn't matter, though.
Yeah. You aren't that sneaky. We've talked a lot about the good old C9s this week, but we're not going to see one there. It's just going to be Toronto Defiant going up 2-0 in this series instead.
And I know you guys don't like it, and the crowd boos when you switch compositions, but that is textbook what happens.
Yep.
If you don't take A quickly, you get a hard reset on your ult economy. It is so difficult to get back into the game.
That's right. We will be back with halftime right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
The Toronto Defiant are trying to secure a spot in the Stage 1 playoffs, and they're only one map away from doing just that. Currently, it's 2-0 over the Spark at the half. Welcome back, Blizzard Arena. Make some noise. You still with me? Yes! Awesome day of action. As always here in the Blizzard Arena, the games have been tight all day long, but your score currently is 2-0. But Bren, we were just talking backstage. This should be a 1-1 set.
It really should, yes. Statistically, we were taking a look at it. It makes no sense at all, but Toronto are actually doing a lot worse in terms of the stats for the first map in particular. But in the end, they managed to clinch it out anyway. So hopefully I'll be able to explain how that happened.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the highlights from this one as it goes on. But keep your eyes on the Lucio from the Spark. 5 environmental eliminations on Nepal. Just to put that in perspective, that's the total that Gladiators got across 4 maps in their previous match.
Yep, it absolutely is. So it's a crazy number here. But part of the reason why I think that Toronto were able to take this, despite having the worst statistics compared to the Hangzhou Spark, is because that they are a lot cleaner in terms of winning out team fights, just overwhelmingly with their ult combos. That's one of the biggest things I've noticed, whereas Hangzhou like to take these long drawn-out fights where the stats are often going to be in their favor, but when it comes to actually executing these team fights, as you can see here, they are on the ball, and they're really excelling against the Hangzhou Spark that are struggling with communication.
So, of course, we saw Yakpeng for the Toronto Defiant, but earlier on the pre-show, you said you wanted to see Gushue back in the lineup for the Spark. What have you seen from him so far?
Well, I think he did what I expected him to do, which is a little bit more on the aggressive side of things, and I do think that actually played into Defiant's favor here, because Defiant have been doing really, really well at playing more passive. They've been more calculating the situation. Generally, they were a lot more in the back and just kind of waited for the Spark to engage, which won them a lot of team fights. They had a better time with their ult combos, I would say. There were a lot of great EMPs, initiations from Envy, specifically here on King's Row.
It's a nice 15-man streak.
Yeah, which really won them the fights.
I completely agree with you, Zoe. Yeah, I think Envy was honestly key for Toronto Defiant in taking this. The one thing you need to do when the enemy team has a Sombra is you need to play more aggressive into them. You need to try and deny the Sombra from getting off a lot of hacks and whatnot. They struggled to do that. Envy was kind of just walking all over them. You can see here, 5 deaths to his name, and the amount of hacks he was getting per EMP, great efficiency across the board. And it's just Toronto, they've got what it takes to really clean up off the back of that.
So do you want to see more Sombra from Toronto in the second half?
Always. But yeah, what I really want to see in the second half is Spark cleaning it up a little bit. I do feel like they were a little bit too scrappy. They didn't make the necessary switches quick enough, which was really my main bother. It took them way too long to take point A. They didn't switch off of their DPS combo, and then they just kind of ran out of time since they basically killed their ult economy rolling into B. So yeah, I hope for quicker switches.
Well, Brent, we know that Toronto is working their way towards the playoffs, trying to lock it up here. Let's talk about the Spark, though. How do they bring this back and force a Game 5?
So they have a real issue right now where they've got Gushue, who's Chinese, and the rest of the team is Korean. So they're having issues with communication, and that is showing. It's quite evident, actually, in the games that we've seen just now between these two teams. If Toronto keep playing these Sombra compositions and playing hard into them, it's going to be very difficult for them to try and work around it because, again, like I said, the communication is off. You need to be quick with the comms to really stay on top of Envy when he's playing the Sombra. So realistically, I don't want to say it, but it feels like maybe Nose Might coming back in might be an option for them.
That might be the move.
Even though Gushue is a better main tank, I feel like the communication is the one thing that's letting them down. So that might be an option for them. But like Zoe said as well, they just need to be cleaner and tighter across the board.
I like that call. All right, we'll see how this one plays out. Blizzard Arena, are you ready for some more video games? Yes! Me too. We got plenty more Overwatch. It's the Overwatch League, and we'll be right back.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Welcome back, guys. Halftime has come and gone, and Toronto Defiant have put themselves one map away from winning this series against the Hangzhou Spark. The Spark certainly seeming to struggle quite a bit with Envy Sombra more than anything on King's Row.
Yeah, they had a temporary fix, which was to run at them, but then Toronto Defiant said,
almost worked.
What if we run away? And then EMP, and it works.
What do you know?
And that's
there it is.
And that's GOATS in a nutshell.
That is the adaptation that sets the bad GOATS teams away from the good GOATS teams.
Yeah, you know, good GOATS is an ebb and flow, right? Of engaging and disengaging, tracking ult economy. From an analysis perspective, it's actually quite interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with this meta, is that there's a lot of really neat, subtle stuff that goes on. It's just sometimes it's a little bit tougher to see that in the big sort of explosion of color that happens every team fight.
I'm still
constructed and all that.
I'm still enjoying it for the amount of time that we get to enjoy it.
Here's the fact. Like I like 3-3 as a comp. I think it's cool. It'll be neat when we have more than 3-3 on more maps, and it's gonna happen
for sure.
But you know, so it'll be cool when it's more of a, hey, that's a good strategy for this particular situation, rather than, hey, that's a good strategy for pretty much every particular situation.
I do remember Dive. Genji Tracer Dive.
Pepperidge Farm, remember. Here we go. On to Volskaya Industries, Hangzhou Spark. On the defense, Toronto Defiant trying to set themselves a good time as they try to win this map and win the series. Nothing out of the ordinary for these two teams. Going with that 3-3 with the Reinhardt. Ooh, Toronto Defiant turning around, though, deciding to reverse rotate.
Reverse rotating.
That's right. That's what they're doing right now, trying to get in behind Gushui. Couldn't quite knock him into their team.
Still just looking for an angle right here with both teams playing the Reinhardt 3-3. It is a little bit more difficult for Toronto to approach the point.
Yep, sure enough. Oh, Yakpong gets stunned. He's in trouble and he's out. That was a great shield bash coming in from Bezi, and he's going to treat himself with a couple final blows onto Evie and Stellar, too.
Yeah, gets onto the flank, and then there's the Discord Orb, target called, Hangzhou Spark win the first battle and start their ult economy rolling. Bezi actually already with a rally, so
yeah.
Super fast ult for him.
That's a strong air conditioning unit on top of that building, man. Gushui's run into that several times with his charge.
Do you think it's an air conditioning unit?
Maybe not in Volskaya Industries.
Just a question.
You got me there. I can't.
Just a question.
No response to that. Yakpong a little bit low too. Envy actually had to back off there. Toronto Defiant, ooh, they're kind of split up between the two rooms. Envy jets in there to try to get back to his team. Barely makes it, but that's a lot of health that needs healing before the Toronto Defiant can really get onto the point.
Yeah, Yakpong nearly dying there to another combo from the shield bash straight into the Discord Orb. Yakpong again low. They're focusing Yakpong very hard now.
Wow, and that pulls out the Transcendence from Neko. That is not an ult you want to use in that situation, because now on board with Godsby, you know he's waiting to use that grab. He's not even going to need it, though. There goes Yakpong. Gushui down 2, but with the grab coming in, now Toronto has nothing to really stop this. Yeah, it's an easy one for Rhea. Gets a DMAC on Envy to boot, and that's what happens when you don't have the Trance, you don't have the Reinhardt shield. Goodbye.
Yeah, a lot used there, though. Bezi coming up on another rally. You'll notice, though, that Hangzhou have changed their play style. Coaches have talked to them in intermission. They're playing defensively now, and they're targeting Yakpong aggressively. So they're trying to put Bezi on the flank so that he can get the stun, force Yakpong low. However, Defiant coming into this next fight, quite a few ultimates. Spark, again, conserving their support ults. They may be able to ride this one out.
They're going to have all 3. Bezi really close to his rally, too, so Toronto's going to have to find a way to work through this. Zarya shield down. Oh, it got eaten! Ivy's grab gobbled up by Rhea's defense matrix. Now Shatter comes in. That's going to be sound barriers on both sides. Bezi down, so Defiant with a good start here. It's going to be Bebe trying to keep people up with that Transcendence, but Rhea's already been DMAC'd. That ultimate was a little bit late on the Hangzhou side. Thought he maybe had more time after Sound Barrier was out, but it looks like it's going to be Defiant taking A here.
This time the Defiant were wise. Bezi was trying to play aggressively, too far forward again. This time gets caught out and eliminated, and that combined with the DMAC from Rhea means Toronto Defiant going to cap the point. But Hangzhou, by using their own Transcendence, did get the Trance out of Defiant, so snowball potential here really low because of the Rally Shatter and the Graviton Surge generated by the Spark.
Maybe with a good combo from Ivy and Envy.
Possible. Yeah, it is possible. That is something that they could make work for them. considering there isn't a sound barrier, so no overshield to protect against the large amount of self-destruct burst damage.
Yeah, if the execution is tight, they could potentially get some time in on point B. We'll see. Ooh, Ivy down to half health. Has to pop that shield early. Rhea in trouble. Has to back away. Grab got eaten though. Rhea turned around. Wow, Ivy thought he had a chance because Rhea was moving away from the point, but the last second Rhea turns, does a 180, sticks out that defense matrix. That was great. Meanwhile, Spark throws in their own grab. Chushui gets 2 with the charge, and that's going to be Spark turning that around. Man, play of the map, easy for Rhea right there. That was great.
Yeah, did flip around and pick that one up, but Ivy, that was a risky grab at that range when the Diva's on your flank. So, you know, the Diva defense matrix can just sort of go perpendicular, and that's the proper orientation for a Diva. It's a proper positioning when you want to be able to deny those graviton surges, because it means you can't throw them in willy-nilly at range. You have to get very close, throw them into a wall, choose something else.
Well, it covers a long area, too, and I think that's what Ivy kind of underestimated, because it did, to its credit, it did look like Rhea was pretty far away, but just turned around, was barely in range. Pretty sick. Now Defiant trying to come back in again. Still a few ultimates to use, but Spark easily equal in that category. Yakpeng in trouble. Blocks the shatter. Now Neko pops that Transcendence. Ooh, the counter shatter from Yakpeng. So good. And Toronto Defiant picking up a few kills before the sound barrier comes in for IDK. That's a sound barrier that's not going to get them a whole lot. And Toronto Defiant going to be able to pick up some time here before the respawns start coming in.
Yeah, they have Trance, though, so they're going to be able to survive on the point for a little bit longer.
And they can delay a bit. Transcendence covering the re-engage from Spark here, but there goes Rhea's mech.
They do have a rally, they do have a grab.
All right, good sound barrier from Roki now as a grab comes in from the Spark side of things. Bezzy down to the self-destruct from Envy, and there goes Godsby. Knocked away with the whip shot, so it looks like it will be Defiant cleaning this up over time. Gushui coming in, doesn't have a lot of healing with just that Zenyatta's Harmony Orb. That's a problem. Not even going to be able to get there. Toronto Defiant setting a pretty solid time here on Volskaya.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't great for Defiant, but it was a really, decent time for them. Certainly something they can work with. See if the Spark are going to try something weird on their own attack.
I would almost be sure of it, so you don't want to miss it. We'll be back right after this. Volskaya Industries, where the weather's cold, but the action is red hot.
And they don't have air conditioners on their building.
Hey, you know what? If you seal that building, if you close the door, it might get kind of toasty in there. You never know, all right?
There are no air-conditioned bunkers.
I come from the frigid north. There is air conditioning in Wisconsin, Minnesota, all right? So it's possible. So I'm saying.
All right, well, nothing wacky here from the Spark. I guess, with only 2 minutes and 13 seconds, it isn't the world's fastest Volskaya time.
True enough.
It's pretty moderate one here put up by the Defiant. You can see also, they're changing.
Sure. Okay. So while they do that, the big thing with this map right here is that if Toronto Defiant win this map, they'll win this series. And by doing that, they will lock in a spot in the stage playoffs. So this is a big map for Toronto here.
They're opting into a Winston 3-3 mirror. Normally we would see the Reinhardt here, so you have more of a snowball, but they're not making that decision. Gushui really wanting to play Winston versus Winston with Yakpung. That is weird.
All right, well, I mean, he's certainly known a little bit more for his Winston than his Reinhardt, so perhaps a bit of a comfort pick here. Spark, oh, stomped. Mario would be proud of that one. Maybe it was a Goomba in that situation, but Yakpung in trouble. They're trying to keep him alive here. Gosby gets a kill on Ivy as well, and Spark responding with a few kills of their own, so it's looking okay for Spark for the moment. The Rhea does get demeched. Toronto is still a few people on the point here.
I mean, they've got very low healing right now. They need to back up. They have a rally for this next engagement, so it will be a 6 versus 4 temporarily. Oh, Neko!
IDK.
Clutch elimination. That's going to let the rest of Defiant get back to the point. And Neko, he's come up so big. Neko has actually died only 3 times so far in all 3 maps. He has not died on Volskaya yet, and he died once in the last map on King's Row and twice on Nepal. So he is quietly having a very good day.
He and Envy are doing really, really well in this match. Here's the self-destruct engage, and it catches IDK. How does that happen? Rhea gets demeched as well, and Neko just putting a boot to the face of Rhea, and that's going to send Spark packing. Toronto Defiant looking really good on the defense so far.
Yes, they are, and the least the Spark are doing is saving up some of these ultimates, but the Defiant are getting such excellent value out of their ults, and it just seems to be getting better and better.
Yeah.
The longer this series goes on, they look very disciplined when it comes to the ult economy, and they're going to try and jump back right in now with Gushui. Both Winstons have Primal Rage available to them.
2 minutes remaining now for Spark, a little bit less, 140 actually on the clock right now. They've got 6 ultimates. It's now or never. You got to get point A taken. They're going in for the grab, but it's getting eaten by Envy. He was ready for Gosby's Graviton Surge, and now Toronto throws their own grab in there. Transcendence comes out. Self-destruct, though, for Spark. Not finding any kills. It's going to be Primal Rage now for Yakpung. Stellar down. Maybe Spark can turn this one around. Despite that bad start, losing the grab, it's going to be close, and they're doing it. Yakpung down, so Hangzhou Spark, despite a rough start to that fight, managed to win it, and it looks like they're going to take point A.
Still 3 minutes, gobbled up the clock by the Defiant. Now they're going to switch to the Reinhardt. What still gets me, though, is why Hangzhou wanted to play the Winston here on A, because the idea is Defiant has to play the Winston because they know Hangzhou could try and hit them with a 3 or 4 DPS composition. You might need to reposition quickly.
True.
But if you just run the Reinhardt, you just walk onto the point and they have to re-engage you. Makes it very difficult to push the Reinhardt off the point. We almost never see teams scout and then swap to Winston.
Now, Hangzhou did have to use up nearly all their ultimates here. They've got another 420 on the clock here, but they've had to use a lot to get there. So the momentum a little bit less than usual.
Bezzy,
so Bezzy, not going to make it out of there. And Godsby, now you just save the grab. Yep. Just go ahead and lose the fight. Back away. There goes Gushui, and so they're going to live to fight another day.
I mean, I'm impressed with how fast the Defiant are adapting their in-game tactics.
Oh, baby.
On King's Row, they got fooled once by having Envy pushed way out, then they lose a fight. But this time around, we also saw Bezzy trying to be more aggressive with his shield bash plays onto Yakpung, but they lose Yakpung once, and then all of a sudden, now they're targeting Bezzy. The Defiant are targeting Bezzy very actively, knowing that he wants to make these aggressive plays.
Yeah, true enough. On board with Roki now. Spark taking their time to get back to the point. Looks like they're going to go ahead and take the moving platform, and Roki setting himself up for perhaps a boop.
Yeah, knows what they're trying to do at the moment. Spark really taking a while.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, now everybody's on board. All right, train's moving out. Rhea comes in to try to displace Roki. There's a boop. Did he get anybody? Certainly displaced a couple.
Yeah, they're still going to be on the high ground, though. They will have an option to wrap around the flank here.
Well, they drop down to the low ground, actually, as they come up the stairs. Trying to use some of that angle to avoid some of the fire from Toronto Defiant.
Trying to use the corner actively.
Rally time. Envy on the top, just free firing going in. With that self-destruct, can they get rid of the Rhine shield? There's the charge. They've done it. That's a 4K. Make it a 5K as Rhea's mech is down as well. And man, that charge from Yakpung set it up, and that's a good one. Yeah, man. You can dance. You can dance if you want to, because you've left Spark far behind.
That's right. Wow, it was a great combo, and Spark used so much time to wait for that platform and then just get absolutely wiped.
Wow.
IDK had no sound barrier to counteract that. Couple of Yakpung's charge, easy setup.
That's a lot of time taken off the clock, too, for Spark.
Here we go
try it again. All right.
Didn't get tired of it the first time,
It's like a clown car of a platform. I can't believe they fit so many people on there, and they're going to knock a couple off. Okay. On the high ground, that's the attack again. I mean, you know exactly what they're doing. But the combo not there for Toronto this time around. All right, going back through the health pack room. Okay. That go down. That's a big pick for Rhea. Spark with a chance at a 6v5. Gonna get aggressive. Yakpun tries to respond with a shatter, but Stellar already down. Spark have found themselves a fight that they can win. They found themselves a chance to take point B here. They just have to handle these respawns cleanly.
Starting to push forward right now. So a minute and a half remaining. So Defiant attempt to be holding this.
Yep. All right, there's the grab. As you can see, Toronto just trying to delay as long as they possibly can. Neko's trying to keep people up with the Transcendence as he comes back in. Envy did get the kill on Rhea during that self-destruct. 2 ticks taken already. Now the grab for Toronto. It's going to cause Bebe to pop his own Transcendence. Yakpung swinging through there. He's going to have the shatter very soon. Guxue gets a kill into Stellar. The charge from Yakpung. Not finding anything. Guxue just walking in there. Oh, he's in the corner. It's brutal. There goes Yakpung, and Ivy, a lot of damage, but not a lot of HP remaining, and I think that's going to be about it. Spark should be able to finish this one off.
Eventually.
Goodbye, Roki. Goodbye, Stellar. Good night, Moon. And that's it. Spark managed to tie things up here on Volsky Industries.
A lot less time, though. Good stall at the end by the Defiant, so they will have an advantage going into tie bank.
Yeah, that is something. 1 minute for Spark. And a break before extra innings. So as we take a look at the time banks here, we see that Toronto Defiant has a lot more banked up than the Hangzhou Spark do. 2:23 on the clock, just a minute for Spark. And remember, Toronto Defiant, if they win this map, and if they win this series in general, they will lock up a spot in the stage playoffs.
Will be well-deserved, too, from them. Looking better map to map to map. Sort of a rough debut for this team, but they have coalesced quickly.
They have. No Moira necessary. The coalescence is there naturally.
It's inside them, though.
That's right. It was in their hearts the entire time.
All right, so again, nothing too crazy, just the Winston.
Yep.
Really want to go for this Winston play. That's where they're feeling confident. Not sure I agree, Doa, and Rhea just going to get D-bagged.
He went up there to try to help out Guxue, got stunned, got D-bagged, and that's a disaster for Spark. They're going to be down to just 30 seconds remaining, less than that even if another pick comes through here. Guxue, you better get back to spawn, buddy. There we go. All right, he's safe.
Save the Zarya charge. That's about the only positive there for the Hangzhou Spark.
Spark needs a massive team fight. Otherwise, they're going to put Toronto in a situation where they only need a tick to take the map in the series. Here we go. Spark coming in aggressively. They drop the shield up on top here. Toronto Defiant dropping back to the point. They don't want to give up any time at all to the Spark.
Slow push in right now, Yakpun. It's a later bubble.
That's right.
Zarya.
And Rhea in a little bit of trouble. That's going to be Bebe with the Transcendence. Just in time as they get aggressive. Stellar, they got to keep him alive. Grab comes in, though, on the Toronto side. Godspeed down. That is it. Spark cannot do it. They can't get onto the point. They can't get anything done. And Toronto Defiant is going to be in an amazing spot to take this map and the series.
I mean, they clinch because
that's true. That's
it's a
the
draw.
series.
It's minimum a draw right now, so congrats, Toronto fans. The Defiant are in the playoffs.
The worst result for Toronto on this map is a draw. They've won the series with 2 maps already, and that means, like you said, Monte Cristo, they are going to the Stage 1 playoffs. So it's a victory lap from here on out for Toronto Defiant. You can tell they know it. Roki looking pretty happy there.
That's a good way to end Your first stage, obviously, as an expansion team, coming in and making it into that top 8, securing your spot.
Yeah. And you look at this Toronto Defiant team, and a lot of other teams have these like big, flashy playmaking stars and all that. And Toronto has their moments, but what they bring more than anything is just very, very good, solid Overwatch. They know this meta inside and out, and they can execute on it really, really well.
Yeah, I think sometimes they do slip up. Like, we have seen some mistakes, but their teamwork gets better week by week.
Yeah, they aren't NYXL, but they're close. They're getting there.
I wouldn't say they're close. They're getting there.
They're fairly close.
Slowly.
It's like
slowly.
70% towards there, maybe.
Yes, they get a grade of C- at being NYXL. I agree.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's like a A in public school. I have no idea. It's been a while. Spark on the defense now, of course. This map at the worst for Toronto is going to be a draw, but they'd love to get that win.
To make it easier for them, coming out with a Winston right now into the Reinhardt. Now, this is it's an even bolder play from the Toronto Defiance.
Hey, like I said, it's a victory lap for them from now on here.
Making it this really difficult on themselves. Trying to run that Winston and actually get onto the point is super difficult.
He's going to go sky high for a second. They've got Spark pushed back into the health pack room, which is generally the place you retreat to.
Yeah, but Yakpong
Whoa, to the moon! He's going home! Go home, Winston.
Yeah, they need to switch off this Winston. This is really just a terrible idea on attack because you can't contest the point effectively because you're so gated around your cooldowns for your jump. And if you get stunned like that because the Brigitte can simply walk into your bubble and stun you, Discord Orb, you just die immediately.
Pretty much.
You go home to the moon. And so, Yakpong...
He's gone now.
He's gone now. He went back to the moon.
Yep.
Winston's gone.
He's just having a grand old time. Back home. Not dead at all. Envy. That mech is dead. Maybe finding one there, so Toronto going to find it much tougher to push, which is that mini diva. You can just jump on that anytime if you're Spark, really. Yeah, there goes Ivy. Okay. Well...
I mean, Ivy is only 65% of the way to the grab. This Winston play that is inexplicable from the Defiant. They could have scouted that and swapped immediately. Instead, they have decided that they were going to try and style on them a little bit.
Yeah.
But it has not been effective to this point in time. And now they're at one push here.
Well, you don't drive real hard on the victory lap, Monty.
You don't.
That
It's
way,
true.
No.
It's definitely not pedal to the metal.
You're already a winner. Godsby with a grab here. Good set up another teamfight win for Spark. They've got a ton of ultimates available, way ahead of Toronto in the ult economy.
And you only have 10 seconds to poke before you have to get on that point.
Yeah, gotta do it. Here we go. Gonna be the rally. Oh, goodbye, Ivy again. Yep, well, it's gonna be a 6v5 in favor of Spark. Self-destruct comes in. They got the sound barrier to protect them. Rhea drops his now. There goes Bezzy. Yakpong down after he charged Bezzy to death. So far, not so good for Toronto Defiant here on this particular push. And it looks like Spark are going to be able to at least force the tie.
And they are, Doa, and that might be a problem later on for the Defiant. This will be a draw. Yep. And at the end of the day, we keep saying it, every map matters. And if I'm Coach Bishop and I'm watching that one, I am really unhappy with that decision.
You gotta, at the end of the day, it's like, guys, seeding is still a thing. Just because you're in the playoffs doesn't mean you don't care what part of the playoffs you get in.
Which half of the bracket you're in could be very impactful.
Exactly. Well, we'll see if they clean it up a bit on map 4 when we come back.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Toronto Defiant locking up this series and locking up a spot for them in the Stage 1 playoffs as well. But like we were talking about at the end of that map, Monty, seeding does matter. They still want to get as many map wins as they can because you don't want to face the strongest person in the playoffs immediately. So,
and that was truly a silly way to play that last point from the Defiant.
A little bit.
I don't know what the thought process there was. I think that there was already some weird, like, Winston versus Winston 3-3 mirror that was going on from the Spark. So my anticipation is that the Defiant sort of wanted to show them how it's done, but show them how it's done, they did not.
They played themselves, they say. We're going to Rialto for our final map in this series. Of course, Rialto, the escort map. And so we'll see if maybe Toronto tighten things up again. Get another map win in their pocket here before the end of the series.
Honestly,
yes, the Campiello Vestiello.
Yeah, you're Italian.
I cannot speak Italian. Oh, and the Pointe de Lono.
Oh, God. Stop. Anyway.
Oh, and the Campo Monteverde.
So,
yes.
So,
my favorite places.
One of the things about this map, or this match, that's been really cool is that, in a way, it has been a primer on 3-3. We saw why not many teams choose to play quad DPS into 3-3. We've seen what happens when you try and attack a Reinhardt 3-3 with a Winston 3-3. So this is really demonstrative. Thank you, Toronto Defiant.
It's a good 3-3 study match if you want to learn a bit about.
It's a clinic. It's a 3-3 clinic from the Toronto Defiant.
That's right. We study the various ailments and healthy bodies.
That's right.
Of the GOAT's meta.
Truly, the Toronto Defiant, the veterinarians providing the GOAT clinic.
That's right. GOAT Clinic was the name of my punk band in high school, actually. It's, what a coincidence there. Can't believe that happened. Hangzhou Spark on the low ground here. Defiant coming down to try to get this payload moving a bit more. Neko's still up there, though. It's not going to give any of that high ground away if you can avoid it. Fighting it out with Bebe. They're going to try to charge in on this Zenyatta. No. Going through the building. Oh, the Diva went in pretty deep. Yeah, Rhea gets DMAC as he falls as well. It looked like Rhea went to try to protect Bebe as they tried to charge onto him, and Defiant was ready for that.
Yeah, Pim the Mech there looked like a little bit hard to tell in the swirl of beautiful red.
A lot of kills on both sides, actually, but it is going to be Spark getting, or rather Defiant, getting to push the payload at the end. They're taking Reinhardt's hammer with them.
Yes, they are.
Not giving it back. Oh, it's gone. Whoa. So it's like Mjolnir or something like that.
This goes right back to Reinhardt's hand.
That's like Thor.
It is like Thor.
Oh, before his hammer got wrecked anyway, you know. Spoiler alert.
Well, did get wrecked in the mythology, but that's fine.
Well, you know, we're talking about the MCU here.
Ah, yes. The worst version of mythology.
I'm not going to argue. Payload's nearly to the end of point A already for Toronto Defiant. Maybe looking for a good place to put that grab, perhaps. Right there. Now they catch Rhea again. Self-destruct's thrown in by both teams. It's going to be Godsby get caught. Nice boop from Roki, actually.
Bezzy was standing there with the shield. Roki moved him to get the kill with the self-destruct. That was a great play by Roki.
Yeah, Roki's had a lot of heads-up plays on this Lucio today. Gushue coming back with a couple kills himself, though, before going down. Taking a dip in the canal. And it's still going to be Toronto on top when the fight ends.
Well, I mean, it's been all Defiant so far on this map. Spark looking a little broken at this point in time. So struggling here to get into an advantage with their ult economy. Fortunately for them, they might have an opportunity here to really take a defense on the best corner, I think, in any Overwatch League map, which is this corner on the high ground on Rialto. It is so hard to break.
Near the Teatro del Canto Opera.
Yes.
Ah, yes. I know it well.
It's your favorite opera.
Right. It's right up there. Well, they get through the underpass. Now you got to break the corner. It's going to be the grab. They're going for it. They're not wasting any time here. And goodbye, Bezzy. And he eats IDK's grab. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why.
So sometimes when the Diva eats a grab, it can appear as sound barrier or
Godsby became Lucio's ultimate.
Or trance. Sometimes that happens too. Sometimes it eats self-destruct.
That was just Godsby's expression when his grab got eaten. That's what that was. Very accurate representation. Self-destruct. Stellar. Whoop. Yakpunk turns around for the shatter here. Tries to charge back in. Oh, man, he gets a pin onto Gushue. A bit inexplicably. A bit serendipitously, if you will. Serendipitously. There you go. Either way, what I'm saying is Toronto's winning. There's point B.
And they're winning hard, Doa.
Yeah,
4 minutes for point C. This feels great if you're a Toronto Defiant fan. Now they're back on track. No more shenanigans. Go ahead and take another map win.
You know, Yakpong should not charge into that box. It says fragile on it.
That's true.
Payload. Come on, man. You know better.
I mean, they are throwing a large amount of gunfire around that box, though.
That's
So
a good point. Strong wood. Making that crate. Here we go. Another grab coming in from Toronto Defiant. Self-destruct. The Reinhardt's gone. No kills on that one in the end, though. Maybe it pops that Transcendence. Ooh, nice shatter from Yakpong. Pezzy down. Stellar capitalizing. And they've got the sound barrier on the Toronto Defiant side as well to keep everybody up and happy. And yeah, it really does not get much faster on Rialto than this has been.
you know, the Spark, since they already lost this match, it was a long shot for them to make playoffs, but certainly losing a few more maps is not going to help their efforts.
I don't think so. Sound barrier doesn't matter. Nobody can get there. That's going to be Toronto Defiant with one of the fastest takes I've ever seen on Rialto.
That was a very fast time for Rialto.
Yeah.
Pretty ridiculous.
Crazy.
Ends with 3:05 for a map that is often a struggle to get through point A and B.
It's got to be one of the quickest times we've seen on that map.
I do believe it probably is. Netco with another death. So he is currently, I believe, at 6 deaths in this series. Now, according to Captain Planet, our stats wizard, the record is currently 7. So he will.
Wow.
He has a chance here, if he does not die on this defense, to set a new record for a player who has played in all 4 maps in a series for fewest deaths.
That's incredible. He's already set the record for the player that's allegedly forgotten to change his spray for the longest time in Overwatch League history. So
then he forgets when he puts the sorry spray on the ground that he's about to put a Boston Uprising logo right next to it.
It could happen to anyone.
Truly coincidental.
Can't predict that.
Here we go. Netco. He probably doesn't know it, but he might be about to set a record.
Don't tell him. You're going to make him nervous. Stop it. Oh, the La Vecchia Pescaria. Ah, yes. the Dick Royko.
Yes, Noah. Yes. This
Got
is
it.
a truly fantastic attack.
It's the Kerosene.
Observers, please.
Oh, my favorite thing. Teatro del Canto Opera. Ah, yes. The beautiful voices of the operettos.
Wow. You know, you've even been to Italy. I think this is the
I
most
have.
embarrassing part of this entire...
I'm sorry. Don't hate me, Italy. Kirk, I know you're out there. I love your country. Don't hate me. Hangzhou Spark on the attack now. Toronto Defiant, obviously feeling pretty happy about the way things have gone, aside from maybe the end of the sky.
Roki.
Yeah,
Roki.
Ooh,
he got chunked out. Couldn't actually wall right away in time. That means Defiant, they're not going to get a chance to really stop them at this first corner, and instead have to wait for Roki's respawn. And it's going to be a long time fighting in this last choke, you have to think.
I would imagine.
Neko, though, already 63% of the way to a trans. That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty solid. He's been able to land a lot of that damage. And he has not given opponents a lot of times to take him out. Here we go. Yushui taking a lot of damage up front. They find out, oh, there goes Bezzy. Yakpong with the kill with that fire strike, actually. And now Bebe feels the world closing in around him. He saw Envy on the Diva start to fly up to the flank, and he started backing out right away. Gushue down. And so we'll be Toronto Defiant holding here a little bit longer.
Well, Ivy has not even died this map yet. And we're at 30 eliminations to 7 for the Defiant. So Rialto, some of these maps were quite close, especially that first one. This one, not so much.
Well, that's a great sign for Ivy, though, too, because he did have some issues dying early on in some of the fights earlier in this series. So, I mean, yeah, it's one of those maps where maybe teams aren't playing the most seriously, but you want to see less deaths out of that Zarya for sure.
Certainly delivering on that front so far by just backing up. They're making the Hangzhou Spark try and walk across this space.
Right. Ivy boosting his way up, trying to find a place to put that grab. Waiting for the defense matrix. There it is. As soon as this Rhea drops down, double defense matrix. And nice shatter. Oop, no kills out of self-destruct there, aside from the one onto Rhea as he let loose his self-destruct.
Right, so no remake possible for Rhea. This is going to be another back off here from the Hangzhou Spark.
Yeah.
And Neko,
how many do you lose?
He's closing in on that record, Noah.
Sure is, man. Only a minute 40 left to survive. IDK down, tried to go for the cute boop at the end there.
All right. Now going to reset one more time. Neko on this Zenyatta. Hero that can be jumped on quite easily, but has been mostly ignored.
I was going to say, for
this match.
For a record like that to be set, I would not have expected that to be on the Zenyatta.
I believe Jonak has it right now.
Oh, well, never mind that. But Jonak is not, he's
Jonak
not a normal player.
Yes,
Jonak is Jonak, yeah. He's basically like an Overwatch deity in himself.
All right, so back again here for the Defiance. Stopping the payload, stopping any progress right now. Rally comes in from the Spark.
All right, here's where Toronto needs to dig deep. Oh, that's a stun on the Gushway. Backs away a little bit. Yakpung down early. Ooh, it's a good start for the Spark. There goes Stellar as well. Sound barrier comes in for Toronto, but they got to back it up. They do not want to give up point A, though. Envy going to die on the cart. Try to delay as long as possible.
Neko didn't die.
No, he didn't. He backed away immediately.
We're watching this one. This is what we want to happen here, but
yep.
Hangzhou Spark making it very difficult to get through the end of point A.
Okay, so it's another 3 minutes on the time bank for them to finish B now.
Toronto Defiant not giving up ground easily, however.
If they want to try to hold the bridge. Ooh, Shatter just out of nowhere from Yakpung. Gushway down already. And it's a Lucio battle. Whoop, careful. Oh, he's in trouble. Desi down first. IDK soon to follow. Mortal Kombat or Supportal Combat.
You got it, though. You got it there.
Oh, fight, fight. Oh, come on, Yakpung, get out of there.
Roki, you coward.
It's all right.
Backing off. He gets into spot. IDK still having a little bit of fun right there on the side.
Meanwhile, the rest of the match continues.
Meanwhile, they have now pushed through the choke and are going to be using that.
Tobelstein.
Yeah, they're going to be using that Graviton Surge very aggressively right out of spawn. So Toronto decided now is the time to spawn camp the Spark.
Spawn camp the Spark. There you go.
Yakpung doesn't have a shatter.
Look out behind you, Yakpung.
He tried. He tried for the Fire Strike.
Yep.
Try and prevent this drop down. Force them onto the bridge so that they have a chance of getting environmental eliminations.
Exactly.
See if they can pull it off.
Chance to knock people off the edge.
G. Godsby is wary of death from above. Grab.
Goes for the grab. Not a lot of charge there. Rhea's going to need to get a big self-destruct. And he gets Ivy. Roki down as well. So Toronto Defiant getting some ground again. Neko, where are you?
He's on the wrong side of the bridge. No.
Oh, no. Neko, save him.
He's the last one alive.
Neko, no!
The record! Oh.
He can tie the record now. That's what you're telling me.
He can tie the record, but I'm disappointed.
Well, I'll get over it.
Somehow. We'll get through this somehow, Dawa.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, well, IDK sitting there with the sound barrier. Spark actually come out of that with a very healthy ult economy for this difficult corner to push around. As I said,
Spark has a good chance to move this thing.
Yeah, this is arguably the hardest corner to take. It's a 90-degree turn after a 90-degree turn and tons of cover for the defending team.
Yep, exactly. They do push Toronto back, though. Ooh, Yakpung caught up in that Earth Shatter from Gushway. Let's give me another couple kills coming in. Toronto Defiant in trouble again. Neko did not die.
He didn't, and back now at the respawn with the rest of the team, but they're not going to be able to defend this, so Spark methodically pushing through the map right now.
Neko's like, I'm trying to tie a record, guys, sorry. I know you're saying die in the payload, I can't do that.
Still 2 minutes left, so Spark have avoided that full hold just narrowly. Now Defiant trying to prevent themselves from going into a time bank scenario, though they have plenty on the clock.
It's only 2 minutes at the end of the day for Spark, and you know, again, taking it with 3:05 left is insane for Defiant. So Spark could easily get held here. They're going to try to move around the side and come up the stairs, it looks like. Yeah, charging up there with that speed boost. We got a little bit low. They backed off, though. Ivy has that Graviton Surge in there. They're going to send in Envy Self-Destruct, Sound Barrier, and some shielding helping out quite a bit there.
Couldn't quite knock it in enough, and now the Graviton coming through.
Yep. That's right, Rhea with a self-destruct a little bit late there, but it does catch Yakpung. Bebe down as well, though. So in the end, Toronto Defiant getting a couple kills more. Godsby trying to respond, and Gushway, he's got the shield still on the point. Neko fighting it out. No! He can't even tie it now.
8 deaths for Neko in a series. Unlucky. Still a great performance.
Yep.
Won't be record-setting today, however. Spark continue moving towards the end. They have one team fight left in them. They have a shatter. They're a team with a dream and a shatter right now. And another kill and
Neko, no! Oh, it's too late now. It doesn't matter anymore. Gushui, yeah, that's right. It's one of those Eye of the Kaiser scenarios. A little bit less of the stakes on the line, of course. But I'm just saying he needs to do a lot with his shatter. That's what I'm saying, all right? He gets sealed. Oh, he gets pinned against the wall, but Yakpunk bounces off the pillar himself. There he goes. He's down. A chance for Gushui. He dropped the shatter. He might have got stunned in the middle of that, but it doesn't matter because he's getting the kills anyway. They get the grab at the end. And guys, we're going to go into Time Bank.
All right. Well, Time Bank as the Spark just barely finished that map.
All right. Well, the Spark get it done. They're not going to win this series, but they're at least putting a bit more pressure onto their opponents, onto Defiant. But remember, Defiant, ton of time in the Time Bank. We'll see what they can do with it when they come back. Time Bank time, as we check out the exhibits in this museum, which don't look very old. That all looks like fairly new stuff.
Maybe they discovered ancient alien artifacts, Noah, in the future.
Aliens.
That's right.
No, man, it was made by robots.
These arts were made by robots?
Yeah, that's right. It's performance art with Gushui swinging around the pillar like that. Let's swap over to the Reinhardt. Postmodern performance art, beautiful. IDK! What just happened there?
What did just happen there, Noah?
He didn't get knocked off. He just died. I am curious.
Living up to his name. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what happened to IDK. But it did slow the Hangzhou Sparks approach right now.
Well, they have 30 seconds remaining. IDK back with them again. All right.
And we're going to find out. The mystery of IDK is about to reveal itself before our eyes.
And he... Oh, you missed the pillar. You hate to see it.
Lucio wall riding accidents happen.
I played a lot of Lucio. It'd be like that sometimes. That's how it is. All right, well, Spark trying to get any distance they can. 3 seconds. We're going to be into overtime very shortly. Bebe's going to have the Transcendence soon, but aside from that, not much. The charge, Yakpunk taking Gushui for a ride. Everybody has to try to save the Reinhardt. Now Yakpunk down. The wrong Reinhardt was killed, according to Toronto Defiant here, and they are going to struggle to stop this payload. Hangzhou Spark going to get more distance.
Well, Bebe had the Transcendence already, and I don't think the Defiant expected that because they made an aggressive charge. He wanted to take Gushui back into his team, Yakpung, but with the Transcendence, they're easy to zip across that space, heal him up, and win the fight.
Yep.
Here we go. One more defense here on A for the Defiant. Rhea has a self-destruct. Not to be nearly with that grab.
All you have to do is get them off the payload. The overtime bars can expire so fast. There we go. Yakpung on the back of that Graviton Surge, getting quite a few. They lose Ivy in Rhea's ensuing self-destruct, but that's going to be the end of this one. Pretty good push for Spark considering the time they started with, and IDK just deciding to take a dive at the beginning of that one. But
that's the danger. Lucio lives a dangerous life.
He does.
He's wall riding, 50 meters up into the air without any kind of safety equipment.
It's true, just as futuristic rollerblades to support him.
I know. That seems like a really risky thing to do, and death is sort of inevitable. At some point in time, you're going to make a mistake.
I'm glad to see that. You know why? Because you're skating around Venice, right? That's a lot of ancient buildings, right? They're having, maybe they fix the flooding thing in the future, but to just ride around on the walls like that, to deface the ancient Renaissance properties like that, I'm glad he fell off. He deserved it. Lucio is the great iconoclast of our age, man.
He destroyed all those marble railings, too.
Yep, riding over paintings and stuff on the walls. Like, there's no stopping this guy. That's right. Meanwhile, on board with the gondola. Feeling seasick already.
And this is actually not a very pleasant experience.
Oh, it's like the Blair Witch League now.
This gondola's just going in circles forever.
So look out! Oh, it's okay. Oh, hey, it's his identical twin. And hey, it's his identical triplet. Hangzhou Spark. Keep in mind here, Toronto Defiant have 4 minutes to try to push as far as Spark did. So,
and they're not playing Winston this time.
okay,
So,
double sniper for Toronto Defiant. Or not.
no,
Nope, not. They're going back to 3-3.
definitely not. I think they would like to win this map, considering they drew the third one.
Yeah, very true. IDK down again. There goes Bezzy. So Toronto wasting no time in taking out the Spark and moving this payload. See ya.
Rhea screaming. Wow.
Hard to scream underwater. That's
Yeah,
impressive,
Diva
actually.
takes a dip, and now we get some quality emotes
Right.
on the card.
Play some tunes. Nice, but just not close to the priceless artifacts. Lucio, please.
All right, so coming back in for another defense here.
Here we go. One last
Hangzhou
fight.
Spark have to hold for 3 minutes here.
Yep. See if they can do it. Here we go. Pushing in now. They've got the shield onto Envy. Tries to build up a little bit more charge. Ultimate's building. Neko very close to his Transcendence. That payload is pretty much there. Can Spark stop them? Defiant just waiting it out. They can just keep poking. Ooh, going forward. Yakpunk gets stunned, but it's going to be Gushe that falls. Looks like Neko got his Transcendence just in the nick of time to try to save people. Bebe responds with his as well. Self-destruct coming down. It gets 2 from behind. IDK taking out the Fire Strike, and that's the end of the map and the end of the series. Toronto Defiant takes it out on Rialto. And it will be a 3-0 victory after that draw on Volskaya. Playoff spot locked up for the Defiant. Could have been a bit cleaner here and there, but hey, they're in.
Yep, 5-2 record should be a pretty high seed in the playoffs as well. Excellently done in the inaugural stage
Sure enough.
for this new franchise team. Now we'll see if they can perform in the playoffs. You know, they get to sit out next week too. They're done.
Yeah, that's
A
right.
lot of time to prepare for their next opponents.
Well, it's great. A little bit of time to rest. Obviously, Overwatch League is a marathon. It's not a sprint, so a little bit of time to chill out, a lot of time to practice. I think they're going to be a great spot for the playoffs here. And it does impress me, again, just how well our expansion teams have done this stage by and large. It's been cool to see.
Has been very fun.
Yeah, for sure. So a tough one for Spark, but that's a team where I think, as the meta shifts as we look ahead to stage 2, that's going to be a team that just gets better with age. In the meantime, let's send it over to Danny, who has Roki standing by for an interview.
Thank you so much, Doa. Everybody, give it up for Toronto Defiant and Roki. With today's win, they have now clinched a spot in the Stage 1 playoffs. Roki, how ready are you for the Stage 1 playoffs? 자, 오늘의 승리로 인해 드디어 이제 토론토 팀이 프로업 진출이 확정이 되었습니다. 로키 선수, 얼마나 준비가 되셨습니까?
저희는 지금 연습한 걸로 우승할 준비까지 되어 있습니다.
We are ready to win with the practices that we are doing currently. Are you 100% sure you could win this? 이거 확실히 100% 이길 거라고 확신하십니까?
네.
Yes, he said yes. Alrighty. Talking about the playoffs, I was actually wondering, is there a team that Toronto Defiant and you personally that are looking forward to kind of beat in the Stage 1 playoffs? 자, 그 플레이오프 얘기가 나와서 이제 좀 질문을 해보고 싶은 게 플레이오프에서 이 팀만은 좀 우리가 이기고 싶다 한 팀이 있다면 어떤 팀이 있을까요?
뉴욕 SLCM.
NYXL. Alrighty, I will leave you with that. That is a great answer. Good luck, everybody. Give it up for Roki and Toronto Defiance one more time. With that being said, back to you guys, casters.
There we go. Roki, a man of few words, but a man of many environmental kills. Let's take a look at the standings overall. Spark eliminated from Stage 1 playoff contention with that loss. Meanwhile, Defiant clinched their spot in the Stage 1 finals, currently sitting at 3rd place overall, although I think that could change a bit. Quite a bit of a big map differential between them and 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's true. And obviously, we do have teams like the Fusion and the Fuel that have yet to play out the rest of their matches. Spitfire as well, capable of reaching up into that 5 and 2 position, depending on how things pan out
True.
For them. Rain also, and Rain still with a very good map differential. So a lot of movement still possible within these standings.
Let's take a second to listen in on that winning moment for Toronto Defiant as they clinch that playoff spot. Yeah, so basically what they were saying there was, it's over, it's done, we're going to the playoffs. So they knew what was up with that. A lot of happiness, from the Toronto Defiant team. And hey, even with that loss on Bull Sky, you're still in the playoffs. So yeah, reason to celebrate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I for them too, having that extra week to prepare, I think is going to be really important for them.
Yeah, I think
they have no games next weekend. They've got 2 weeks to prepare for their opponents, and especially take a break. It can be very difficult with the grueling schedule of the Overwatch League for a lot of these players. So having that week off, already being 5-2, that is excellent for Toronto.
Yeah, very true. Let's take a second now to take a look at our player of the match, brought to you by Omen by HP. It's going to be the one, the only, Envy. Had a great map on King's Row with that Sombra. A lot of credit. I think it was a toss-up between Neko and Envy this one, but Envy takes it today.
Yeah, I think both of the players played very well, but what pushed them over the top in some tough situations was Envy Sombra, because the first half of this series ended up being pretty close, and Envy was one of the major reasons why they were able to overcome it. Again, did have some of that Sombra play on Bull Sky as well. That is a fat self-destruct.
No kidding.
4 people and a mech. You'll take that.
Feels good. Envy, having a great day, and it's good to see Envy do well too. He was on LA Valiant for a time last year, was very up and down on that team, but I think he settled into a very comfortable spot here on Toronto Defiant. Both he and Neko have been really good, I think, as leaders, veterans in the league, kind of leading this new expansion team to victory. So, hey, there you go. A great day of Overwatch League, guys. We're not done yet for this week. We're done for the day, but come back tomorrow. And we've got 4 more amazing series to see. Can't wait to watch along with you guys. Thanks for watching the Overwatch League. We'll see you tomorrow.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.